Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. Iran's supreme leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, has said the United States will not be allowed to establish more military bases in the region and declared that the future belongs to the Muslim Ummah and a new Islamic civilization. In a statement shared on a telegram, Khamenei said Gulf powers would no longer serve as a shield for American military bases and that the United States would no longer enjoy safe havens in the region. The statement came as Tehran and Washington continued discussions on a framework aimed at ending their 3-month-old dispute. Explosions have been heard in Iran's southern port city of Bandar Abbas and nearby coastal areas. The cause remains unclear, while Iranian media reported that similar sounds were also reported near Sirik and Jask, coastal areas located close to the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's Mehr news agency reported that the situation in Bandar Abbas was under control and that there was no cause for concern. Meanwhile, US Central Command said American forces carried out defensive attacks in southern Iran during the last 24 hours. CENTCOM said the strikes targeted Iranian missile launch sites and Iranian boats that were allegedly attempting to lay mines. Senior Iranian Armed Forces spokesperson Abul Fazl Shakatchi has warned that any new aggression against Iran would trigger a much harsher response than before. He said that if another war were imposed on Iran, the conflict would spread beyond the region's borders. He warned that Iran's future attacks would be heavier and more violent. He also cautioned adversaries against what he called any adventure against Iran. On the other hand, US President Donald Trump has called on Iran to immediately hand over its enriched uranium or destroy it under supervision, placing Tehran's nuclear material at the center of renewed diplomatic pressure. In a message on Truth Social, Trump said Iran's enriched uranium should be immediately turned over to the United States. Trump referred to the enriched uranium as nuclear dust in his statement and said it could preferably be destroyed in cooperation and coordination with Iran.
President Donald Trump has said that any agreement with Iran must be a great and meaningful deal, warning there will be no agreement at all if US demands are not met. In a social media post, Trump also rejected comparisons with the Obama-era nuclear accord, as both Washington and Tehran played down hopes of an immediate breakthrough in ongoing negotiations. In a separate post, Trump said that countries including Pakistan, Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey should simultaneously join the Abraham Accords as part of efforts to secure a deal with Iran. Trump said negotiations with Tehran are proceeding nicely, adding that Iran could also eventually become part of the accords.
Russia has said that it intends to launch systematic strikes on targets in Kyiv linked to the Ukrainian military, as well as decision-making centers, and urged foreigners to leave, a day after one of its heaviest bombardments of the city since the start of the war. But Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andrei Sybiha urged Kyiv's allies not to give in to Russian blackmail. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov told US Secretary of State Marco Rubio the impending strikes were in response to the continuing terrorist attacks by the Kyiv regime against civilians in Russia. At the beginning of the Quad meeting, Indian Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar said Australia, India, Japan and the US need to address connectivity choke points and resource concentration. He said they also needed to address issues like supply chain resilience, manufacturing and resource concentration and gaps in critical infrastructure. The meeting between the country's top diplomats, Australia's Penny Wong, India's Jaishankar, Japan's Toshimitsu Motegi and US Secretary of State Marco Rubio is the third such gathering since September 2024. And North Korea has fired several missiles, including at least one short-range ballistic missile, toward waters off the country's west coast on Tuesday. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said in a statement the missiles were launched from Cheongju in North Korea's North Pyongan province. It is North Korea's first known missile launch since April 19th, when the country test-fired several short-range ballistic missiles, which it said were equipped with cluster bombs. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.